As the world marks 2026 World Population Day, many citizens have bemoaned the government insistence that empowerment must be driven by the private sector. Now, do you think that government has done the right thing to divest itself of that responsibility? Now, the insistence of the private sector on catapult funding has been the bottleneck that has made so many youths not to benefit from the empowering schemes of private sectors. Today, on Isthmus Rendezvous, we are going to be looking at the challenges of contemporary empowerment schemes by the government and private sector. I am M. Kiliki, and this is Isthmus TV. Why empowerment schemes are important is because not everyone will be able to get a corporate employment or be able to start their own businesses. So that's why the government and organizations, big organizations, have to come in to see how they can lift some people out from poverty. As the world marks this year's Global Population Day, the federal government has reiterated its resolve to empower more than 1,000 private entrepreneurs before the end of the third quarter of this year. In today's program, we want to examine the factors that has, been a hindrance or bottleneck to the success of this program by the government. Now, the theme for this year's Global Population Day is, of course, empowering the youth to create the families and uh, create a hopeful world that is bereft of the seemingly ostensible things that make life unbearable for people. All right. Okay. So, and the National Population Commission has also said that they are adopting that theme, but that they are also going to go a step further to see that the youth are equipped, all right, and then that their destinies get reshaped to fit in to what is obtainable in the developed climes or countries of the world. All right, now going down memory lane, we have found out that there are several schemes, empowerment schemes set up by the government and private sector, in this country. All right, so we want to evaluate how successful those schemes have been, and also look at the various international interventions that are in place for young people to take advantage of. And then going by the fact that the denominator, right, the common denominator, in these empowerment schemes is that you must come up with a certain percentage known as counterpart funding. What should an individual or a people who cannot cough out the usual 30% that is required for any empowerment scheme to be of benefit to an individual? What should such an individual do? All right, so going down the memory lane, let's mention some of the empowerment programs that the federal government of Nigeria has, offered Nigerians. All right. We have, of course, we begin with the NYSC scheme. All right, that one that absorbs young graduates. All right, and the recent one that was just concluded by the past administration, the Empower program. You have another one that is called the Nigerian Youth Academy Skill Up Artisans Program, Super Nigerian Jubilee Fellow Program, 3 million technical talent, Nigerian student loan scheme, and you have the UWE. right? So all this program have been set up by the federal government, and you will find out that it's been a difficult thing for anyone, most people, okay, let's say most people to take advantage of these opportunities, if at all they exist. During the time of Ewing, during the tenure of the past president Goodluck Jonathan, all right, I saw people, come to the bank, bemoaning of how they have fulfilled all the criteria, and then they have not benefited. One of the criteria, according to the introduction that I had then, I was serving in a bank then, so and Access Bank then was one of the financial institutions that were used by the federal government then. So most of those people that have that then, completed all the requirements and the criteria, and they were coming, to check, to get information to find out what the federal government was saying or doing, to empower them. We are lamenting, According to them, they said they have set up a business, registered their business. That was the criteria, and then have had an office set up, and then with the few equipment they could get, So that was it. I was opportune to know what was happening then, because it was on my desk that they were coming. Most of them were coming. So the question to be asked today is, how has government demonstrated sincerity, to ensure that these, empowerment scheme is not just something that has to do with rhetorics, Yes, when government policies are developed, you have the people that manage the media of the government, try to, make people understand what the policy is all about. But you see, most people, see it as something that has to do with let's listen to what they are saying, semantics and rhetorics. It doesn't go beyond that in its implementation. So how sincere is government in ensuring that these schemes that they have mapped out, actually is for the benefit of the people that are supposed to benefit from them? That's the first question we are asking. Now, the factor to be noted is, the empowerment scheme, all right, is aimed at, bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, all right, which hasn't been successfully executed, all right. So if you talk about sincerity, some of the, back then, some of those people who applied for that scheme, we are saying they know some people who have not even met half of the requirement that they have met, and they have been, given the benefits of that opportunity there. You see? So that's why we're asking, and we don't have any representative of the government who, we could ask, to, give us a clarification concerning all this accusation of primordial sentiment and tribalism and partiality, that's often leveled against the government. Now, some people, will be wondering, why is it that the government insists that before anyone would benefit from the scheme, they will qualify, they call it pre-qualification, all right? Yes, pre-qualification, all right? Also known as this counterpart funding thing, okay? So the government agencies argue that it is to show or to demonstrate that the entrepreneur, all right, asking the government for help is not, an unserious person who wants to just collect money and then maybe use it to do traditional wedding or use it to, host a party. It is a demonstration of seriousness to make sure that the people coming to ask for this money will actually use it for the purpose it is meant for. And also a kind of monitoring scheme to ensure that, not that when they give you money, then you go and do whatever you want with it. Of course, they'll be following you wherever you are, wherever you go. Okay, to ensure that this money that you have collected must be used for the purpose for which it's meant. All right, my name is MC Liki Liki, and this is Isthmus TV. We'll be back after this short break.